channel. So my name is Amy and I'm a mum of 3 living in the UK and Wales. So I have a 5-month-old, a 12-year-old and a 16-year-old, and today I wanted to film a what's in my nappy bag or diaper bag video. So I thought this would be quite helpful for first time parents, or if you're doing it again and like me have quite a large age gap. I found it really helpful to watch these again because it has been, it was quite a few years between my youngest and my newest daughter. So there's a 12-year age gap, and then my oldest one is 16, so there's quite a big difference. So I thought I would just go through everything that's in my current changing bag. Like I said, my daughter is 5 months old, but to be honest it hasn't really changed since she was born. The only difference may be the amount of formula I take out with me. So just for the reference of this video, I am formula feeding, so I will be including that in today's video also. So sorry for any background noise. My washing machine is on. I'm currently filming in my kitchen, and my little one is taking a nap in the living room. So I'm taking this opportunity to get this done, because if I don't do it now, it's not going to happen. So I thought I'd first start off with just the actual changing bag. So this is actually from Amazon. It was like £30–35, something like that. There's loads of compartments in it, and it's a rucksack style. So it's very practical, and I think it looks quite nice. So firstly, I'm just going to go through what I take out with me for bottle feeding. Now, if you guys are interested, I'm going to make a separate video about how to bottle feed your baby, sterilisation, how to do it on the go and all of that. So that will be in its own video. What I would usually do personally is take the rapid cool flask. Now if I know I'm only going to be doing one feed while I'm out, this is obviously a little bit easier when they get a bit older. In the newborn days they do drink a lot more and they feed a lot more often. But as your baby gets older, and if you're a first time mum, you kind of get to know how many hours they're going to go in between as you get used to things. So what I would usually do, if I know my baby's only going to have one feed while we're out, then I'll only put 1 feed's worth in the rapid cool ready. So I'll actually put the powder in here ready to go, and then fill my flask of hot water with the right amount of ounces. So for example, my baby's 5 months old, she has 7 ounces per feed, so I put 7 scoops of powder directly straight into the rapid cool, and then I put 7 ounces of kettle boiling hot water that hasn't cooled down at all straight into the flask, and I make it up when I'm out like you normally would using this system. Again, I'll go into complete detail about that in my other video all about bottle feeding. So I'd have that ready to go, and then I'd obviously have a clean sterilised bottle out with me as well. So that's how I would do it if I was just nipping out to town, for example, only going to be out for a few hours, only need 1 feed. Now if I need a lot of feeds, then I would leave this completely empty with no formula in it at all. And then I would take something like this, or a few little pots, or maybe both of these, and then I would fill up as many feeds as I need. So this holds 4 separate feeds, for example. Fill it up ready to go. Obviously I'm not going to do that now because I don't want to waste any milk, but that's what I would do. I would fill them all up ready, and then I would take this flask out full. Now I believe, and I don't know how much this, but this flask would hold 2 full feeds for my daughter because she's on 7 ounces. Obviously, if you're having larger feeds, you may need to take more than 1 flask of hot water out with you if you need to feed them more. If you're out all day, then basically, and you need those extra feeds. I always like to have 1 more feed than I think I'm going to need, because you can guarantee you'll go out and they'll surprise you and they'll end up needing another feed. So it's always handy to do that. Now you can get ready-made formula in little tubs, which is cheap if you bulk buy it on Amazon, by the way. But if like me using the Aldi formula, which is the Mamia one, they don't do ready-made formula of that. However, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but you can buy Cow and Gate or Optimal, for example, a little bottle of that, and give that to your baby, and it is completely safe to do that and mix up your feeds. Oh, sorry about that, little one, needed mama there for a minute. What was I saying? So yeah, if you know you're going to need more than 1 feed, obviously take out more than you think you're going to need. So with the little bottles of formula, you can use one of them and use your own formula that you're already using at home. So the powdered tub that you buy, say that you walk into a shop and you can't find that exact one in the shop, it is okay to give your baby a little tub of a different formula then if you need to. Never feel bad about things like that, because that's something I found, I've got to say, extremely scary when I was the first time parent, and I promise you, your baby's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So that's what I would do. I would kind of plan ahead and take as much as I need. But yeah, formula feeding, unfortunately, it does come with like a lot of extra luggage because you need so many different things. And then obviously if you haven't got the Rapid Cool and you're not buying the pre-made formula pouches, that makes it more complicated as well, which is why I'm going to do a whole separate video about feeding. But that is what I would have in my changing bag. And then I would also have this little beauty. Now this one, which is like a little changing pouch, this one actually came with the changing bag, so that's really handy. Let me just move this stuff out of the way. So this one actually came with my changing bag. So then you just open it up, and then it has like a little section for your nappies, section for your wet wipes, and then you just close it all back. And then if you only go on a small trip, you could literally just take that with you, couldn't you? That'd be easier. And then it has like a little zip, and in there I'll have my nappies, my wipes, and in the zip part then I put cream, and I also put nappy sacks. So this is the best nappy cream ever made for little ones, and it is the Metanium nappy cream, which I have to say is the best nappy cream I've ever used, to be honest, and with all three of my children. It works really, really well, so I highly recommend that. So I'd also have that nappy like changing thing with me, and then I would have a muslin square. My daughter has reflux, so because of that I always have a muslin square or two and a few like what is it called, bibs. Don't even know what I'm saying, that's how late it is. And a few bibs in there because I know she's going to be sick a lot, so I always have them. And then I also have a spare change of clothes. So this is just like a little, you know, outfit that I would have for her. So I have that, and then I also have a little vest and a little pair of socks. So she's got a full spare outfit because, like I said, she does, you know, babies do explosive poo a lot and they do be sick a lot, so it's good to have that with you. I would recommend that even if you're going out for 10 minutes, to be really honest. So those are the main things that I will have with me at all times. And then if your baby started teething, you would take a little teether for them, or maybe their favourite toy or something if you know it's a longer journey. And then also in the bag then I would have like things like sanitary towels for myself if I need them, which I highly recommend again just leaving them in there, to be honest. And then obviously I have older children as well, so I would always put like an extra spare pair of like wipes as well, because obviously those wipes are like tucked inside that pouch, so it's really handy then if you put like an extra pack of wipes then in the front part of your changing bag or your handbag, the front part of your pram, wherever it's really easy for you to get to them. So then if someone like spills something, you know, there's something yucky you want to wipe down or whatever it is, they're really easy to get to, so I highly recommend doing that to them. And then in the side pouches then, I would put things like moisturiser, hand sanitizer, my phone and things like that, and that is everything that I would have with me like for every journey. Obviously, like I said, the amount of like formula and bottles that you need may vary depending on what you're going to be out for, but obviously just make sure you have a bottle for each feed because you won't be able to wash it, so unless maybe you will, depends where you're going, I suppose. So that is everything that I would have. And also like I would carry around either like a carrier bag, or you can buy wet bags, you don't need them, you can just take a carrier bag out with you, and then that would be for like solid outfits. When they're really little, when they're newborn, you can just use a nappy sack and that will contain like, you know, a newborn outfit then. But as they get a little bit bigger and they have like more clothes and things, it's easy just to chuck it in a carrier bag, and that way if something is quite solid, you know, you can keep it contained and keep the poop, for example, out of your changing bag in a carrier bag until you're home to wash it. So that is literally everything that I would have in here. There's nothing else that's like big rated. It is quite basic, but you don't really need much more than this, I would say, if you're planning a day out of a journey. If, for example, you know you're going to be out for a very long day and you're going to be out pretty much all day until later on in the evening, I would highly recommend, if your baby has reflux, to take a few bibs, extra muslin squares, and then an extra outfit, and then obviously things like a blanket, favourite toys like I've mentioned. But yeah, that is the basics of everything that I like carry around with me constantly. And then obviously if your baby has a dummy, then a dummy, and maybe a dummy clip if you choose to use them. And then if you are obviously going to need your pram, you know, and things like that, or maybe a baby carrier. But other than that, that is everything that I use when I'm out and about with my 5-month-old baby and my changing bag. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to sort this mess out, and I will flip the camera around and I'll give you a better view of this changing bag because I actually highly recommend it. So here is the changing bag in a bit of a better view. As you can see, it's got plenty of space, plenty of different pockets. And it does actually look quite stylish, I think. So it has like the really good side pockets as well. And inside it does actually have like the thermal pockets. So if you're like making up a bottle that you want to keep warm or taking a hot flask with you, it does have those pockets inside as well. It fits so much stuff in. You can like use these little clips down to clip it onto the handlebar of your pram. You've got loads of clipping on options, and again, you can be worn as like a rucksack too. So yeah, I highly recommend this changing bag. It's a really good one. And you know, men don't mind this one either because it's not like girly, it's just a rucksack. So but I highly recommend it. Even more, I would recommend actually is just getting, if you've got a rucksack in your house, you don't need an actual changing bag. Any type of bag will do. So don't feel like if you've got a really nice rucksack or if you've got like a certain bag that you like to carry around with you, if it's big enough, just use that. Don't feel like you have to have a separate bag. There's no need at all. But I'm not a bag person, so I needed one. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope you found it really helpful. I will have that video coming up very soon, probably the next one on my channel, of how to bottle feed your baby, including how to sterilize, what actual kit you need, and how to do it on the go and everything like that. So if you do find content like this interesting, then please do stick around. Anyways, have an amazing day guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!